For you, man, talk to me about like, you know, I know the focus is Michael.
Yep.
How many times have you been in with LP in the last like 12 months working on music, if any?
Man, we've been together because we were touring. We haven't worked on any music.
I'm talking about working on music. You guys had the tour. By the way, I'm still very mad that the Rage tour never happened for me to see with my own eyes.
I wish you would have
come
to this New York show.
COVID.
Yeah, COVID killed
Fuck
us,
COVID.
man. And I'm glad Zach is healed up back on the mix. And congrats to all the guys that got inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. The way Run the Jewels usually work is L treks off into the he treks off into the wilderness somewhere and probably like kills bears and eats them and lives as a wild man and then comes back with a plethora of beats.
I feel like you'd be the guy to kill bears and eat them.
Nah, I'm definitely down to kill shit and eat it. Usually, we prefer killing deer and hog where I'm from. But
I just went hog hunting with that Mexican OT.
You had fun down in Texas. You had a ball, right?
It was so much fun.
Who dressed them for you? They already had someone on site to dress the hog, cook and make sausages, all that for you.
No,
well, not cook it, but
we just killed him and left him.
No,
that's what we did.
No, you're not supposed to do that.
I swear to God, out in Texas, they're like pests. I don't know.
No, but you're supposed to fucking eat them. It's a hog. You're not supposed to.
So we killed a couple of them, and then we came back, and like a pack of coyotes or something.
Okay, all right, that's what
destroyed them.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm just saying you're not so. I know they're like so feral out there, but you kill. I kill something. I'm gonna eat it. Like I'm sorry. I'm not sports fishing. I'm not putting a fucking bass back. That bass get caught. That bass getting ed. That's my grandfather say. I'm edding it. So.
Yeah, no. I mean, I kind of felt. I mean, because I've never been. That's the only time I've ever been hunting.
You're good though. You should do that.
It was fun.
Everyone should do it. At least gets out once a year. Do something.
We also were doing it out of a helicopter.
Yeah, I've seen it. Colin Noor. Shouts out to Colin Noor, who I did the interview back years. He go. I've seen him go out and lean out the helicopter or a video of him doing
I was
that.
fucking spooked.
That shit was dope.
Yeah. And we're going on a hunting tangent. Back to you and LP. So LP, he goes out and he kills bears and does whatever he has
and he comes back with the plethora of beats on a hard drive. Like, what do you think? And what do I think is usually, oh shit, this is the fucking album. And, like sequence and everything, damn near like, oh my God, this is it.
And then from there, it's writing time.
And then we're just in there. It was vibing more than writing. We just start playing shit. Like he came out here. We were out here. I forgot when it was. It might have been a year or might have been just over, but he came out. We were in different hotels, but he came over to a spot I was at, and he just played something for me. And he had part of a verse on it. And I said, oh, let me get in there. And I went in there, man. I spazzed on that shit. Like I'm like, oh shit. So, to me, I'm just like, I want to finish that one. And whenever we finish that one, if he come with the others.
We might get RTJ5.
Nah, I mean.
It's got to happen one day.
That's something I cheer for. But again, we're just, it's when it's going to happen, like when it happens. But until it happens,
Michael,
if you're looking for a Dre verse,
Michael,
or if you're looking for one half of Run the Jewels, I got LP verse. I got both of them on Michael.
And it's like, and even the record with LP on the album is like different for y'all.
We got good dope on the street. Yes. That's all I'm telling you, man. We still here for you, man. You want to hear Run the Jewels? You need to listen to Don't Let the Devil. It's a no ID beat with an LP chop on it.
It's different. It's
LP chopped it. So and Taco was on the drums on there, right? Yep, Lil Shalimar, who's one of the Run the Jewels co-producers. He was on there. So yeah, man. So I got the dope.
You do, man.
Come get the dope, man.
Come run it up. Yo, do you see my tweets? Like once every 2 months, I tweet that you should run for president.
Probably.
Have you seen these tweets? I swear every 2 months I'm tweeting, will Killer Mike just run for president?
I don't want them people to kill me. I want to rap. I want to build some business.
Would you ever, like I know you've been asked if you'd ever run for office, but like I could see somebody getting elected eventually and making you a part of their cabinet.
You know what? I remember when I think one of the Bushes put Arnold Schwarzenegger on their cabinet over physical fitness. And that's one thing I've seen in my life. I said, that made all the sense in the world.
Yeah, now because you see Arnold and you're like, yeah.
I'm like, putting a brain surgeon, who I have an enormous amount of respect for, over housing and urban development was a little quirky for me. But Dr. Ben Carson grew up in the housing projects.
Right.
I would have liked to have seen Dr. Ben Carson, while he was over the housing projects, institute some type of mandate that gave kids options and benefits for learning.
Who's doing that now? Buttigieg?
Is it Pete? No, I thought Pete was doing transportation or something. I could be wrong, but he could be over here. But I always thought that was an opportunity missed because I thought that if Ben could have figured something out between health, HUD, and education, that we could have been educating kids right in the housing projects differently. So if I did something in the cabinet that made sense, I'd be honored to. But I doubt.
So you'd be open to that?
I'd be open to that because I could do something effective and I wouldn't have to prostitute myself for money.
Right.
Because the person that hired me would have already done that.
Like had the DNC not like fucked over Bernie Sanders, I feel like you would definitely would have been in the cabinet.
Yeah, I was really a believer. And whatever the old guy was, even if I wouldn't have been in the cabinet, I would have helped.
You would have been in there.
I would have helped in any way.
And you guys, it's crazy because like you are such a leader, and I feel like when I think of like the word activist, that is a word that gets thrown around. And I think about like how you and Bernie show up to like the Amazon strikes.
Yeah, down in Alabama. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's something that like you're working on albums, you're touring, but like somehow you still find the time, you still find the energy to like still stand up and just be the voice of the voiceless.
Well, you know what? No, man, it's not just me. And I consider myself a product of the worker class in this country. I am, both my dads, my grandpa, my grandma, working class people, hardworking, decent people filled with integrity, good morals, and they just wanted better. If they made mistakes, they learned from those mistakes and push forward. So, for me, I'm not the only one. When you look at Senator Nina Turner, I feel like she should be the leader of the progressive movement in this country. I think that for us to talk about, and I'm talking about my community, the black community, for us to talk about progression and not be talking about her actively is damn near crime. Like, what's wrong with us? It's like ignoring Malcolm in the 60s, which people did.
They did, yeah.
The people ignored Malcolm, and after he was dead, all of a sudden he had more fandom. And because of people like Dick Gregory, when people say celebrities don't mean much, because of people like Dick Gregory, his name stayed alive. People like Spike Lee, his name stayed alive. So for me, my thing is Teslin Figaro, who now pops up on the Breakfast Club, has her own podcast and is also does work with Revolt. Teslin is an amazing political mind, and part of the reason I stay, just in know of what is because I constantly communicate with people like Nina. I constantly communicate with Nina, with Teslin. Jennifer Farmer is an amazing publicist out of the Bernie campaign. She's some black woman out of Ohioan, but just brilliant when it comes, So my thing is stay in touch with the people doing the work and less of an organizer now because my day job takes me away, but more of a mobilizer. How do you get people there? By the time Dr. King was maybe 2-3 years before he got out of, here and was assassinated by this government, is my belief. Dr. King was a mobilizer. When he show up, they knew people were going to show up. But people organizing on the ground included people like John Lewis, included people like Reverend James Orange, included people like Stokely Carmichael, also known as Kwame Ture. That's who we need. We need more of y'all.
Right.
I'd love for another Killer Mike to pop along. You know what I mean? But until that happens, you got to congratulate the people that are working their ass off to try to be the best they can be. And I think that they are worthy of our support locally. But look, hyper local. I want to tell people that don't be so enamored by what the television is telling you to argue about.
Be involved with the councilman, the local
hyper local. Before you even get to your councilman, what do your 10 neighbors think of the street? I learned this first from my grandmother. My grandmother didn't like the way sanitation was leaving people garbage cans of sun on the street.
Right.
She didn't think enough care or concern.
Right.
And so she took it to city council. She was angry about it. And she would then get satisfied with what she heard. So she went and sat in the mayor's office till he saw her. She literally just went and sat in there until she complained. And she still didn't get what she wanted. And within 2 weeks, we were on Channel 5 News. With my grandmother saying, this is how they do the black folks in the black community. All of a sudden, we've never had issues with sanitation. Again, because that black mayor wants to get elected, that black city council person, and they say they want to do good for the black community. Well, put our garbage cans down respectfully, because we respectful people. We clean our yard. And she was my hero in that fashion. And I want more heroes like that, because that's the way you create a Killer Mike. You create a Fannie Lou Hamer. You create all these people that care, that aid the people that may be the tip of the spear. Baynard Rustin, you create these people by being hyperactive. So whoever on a local level in your town is doing something, take some time to help them out.